CyberHub bunker and studio. You're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Hey guys, good morning. Happy Thursday. I hope y'all are doing well. It's wrapping up this week, this second week of the year of 2021. And I know I've been fairly optimistic and I still remain really optimistic about everything going on. So I'll start off with this really positive energy thing today, right? Because I'm very ecstatic. A lot of good things happening, a lot of stuff to talk about today on the Practitioner Brief. But before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to our podcast if you're watching us live on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. Please make sure to subscribe and share this video with your friends and family. If you are listening on your favorite podcast listening platform, please make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. That'll push up our rankings. Our rankings are going up daily. Very exciting stuff going on here. And I'm grateful to our supporters and listeners for all that you do to help promote this show and this podcast and the feedback you guys give us. That's really important for what I do here. So let's get right into today's Practitioner Brief. Before I do that, though, my ceremonial coffee. I know I'm a sucker for a double espresso. I am, again, today on my double espresso in my master's mug. Again, I'm going to have a really cool mug in a few weeks that I just ordered. You guys are going to love it. I guarantee you. So you'll enjoy that. All right, cup of coffee. Here we go. Let's get started with the Practitioner Brief. What's going on today? A high-severity Cisco flaw has been found in the CMX software for retailers. These are the downstream supply chain providers for a lot of us big box CISOs. Cisco fixed several high-severity flaws tied to 67 different CVEs overall, including one found in its AnyConnect secure mobility client and in its RV110W, RV130, RV130W, RV215W small business routers. These are predominantly used by small size MSPs in small businesses, small accounting offices, law offices, could be cleaning companies, vendors, you name it. And you just think about it, consultants, anything of that nature. The vulnerability is part of a number of patches that have been issued by Cisco addressing 67 high-severity CVEs on Wednesday. Again, Patch Tuesday was a few days ago, so we saw the beginning of Patch Tuesday. Here we go now. We're seeing a little bit more of this. The most serious flaw afflicts Cisco Connected Mobile Experience, the CMX, a software solution that is utilized by retailers to provide business insight or on-site customer experience analytics. This is predominantly used by big box stores. So think of when you walk into like a Whole Foods, it automatically knows you're there and the app will pop up and say, hey, you're at Whole Foods. So this is where we're seeing it. This is significant because this needs to get patched ASAP. So for an instance, if a customer connects to a Wi-Fi network of a store that utilizes the CMX, the retailer can track their location within the venue, observe their behavior, deliver special offers or promotions to them while they are there. Again, privacy at its best, folks. The vulnerabilities have been patched. There's several other severity flaws with the Cisco devices. So downstream inventory, get this alert out. I want to give a shout out before I move on to my next story to our sponsors today, Know4 and Wistic. Thank you for your support. Let's go to the next story today. Iranian cyberspies are behind the major Christmas SMS spear-phishing campaign. So an Iranian cyber espionage group known as Charming Kitten, APT35, has used the recent winter holiday break to attack targets from all over the world using a very sophisticated spear-phishing campaign that involved not only email attacks, but also following that up with SMSs. So again, we're starting to see more and more stuff go into SMS. And I've got another story coming up here in just a moment where we're going to talk about a CISA Alert that's really critical for a lot of you that are tuning in today. So the group started the new round of attacks at a time when most companies, offices, and organizations were either closed or half closed, holiday break. For those of you who didn't have to deal with SolarWinds, you may have gone on holiday break. Some of us have been working. We don't even know what a holiday break is like. So I'll just say that. According to the Search for researchers, they said that this particular campaign exhibited an advanced degree of complexity. Victims received spear phishing messages from the attackers, not only via email, but also via SMS. a channel that not many threat actors use on a regular basis. And the SMS message posed as a Google security alert. The emails that leveraged previously hacked accounts that tried to play off the festive mood with holiday-related messages. And you can see here your Google account has been recovered. Click. And by the way, the URL is a google.com URL. So they were able to really disguise this whole thing behind it. Extremely sophisticated, very well done. And as you can see here, ZDNet does post all this stuff right in front of you. And you see the link and where it takes you to and so forth. And so a very advanced attack for Iran. And we're probably going to see, I hate to say this, but once it became official that the Biden administration was coming in, Iran has reverted back to old tricks that they used to do during the Obama years, which is just be a really, really bad player looking for attention and hoping that would get hopefully that would get the new administration to really kind of take it easy on them and negotiate and want to calm down the spirits. So we're going to see a lot more stuff from Iran over the next several years, folks. So prep up, be ready for it. Didn't mean to get political there, but that's just the truth. So a sophisticated hack against Android and Windows reveals a zero-day Trove. This according to Google Project Zero and the Google Threat Analysis Group, which uncovered the attacks which were performed by a highly sophisticated actor, according to the blog post. We've discovered 2 exploited servers delivering different exploit chains via watering hole attacks, according to the blog post. One server targeted Windows users and the other targeted Android users as well. Watering hole attacks target organizations that often used websites and inject them with malware, infecting and gaining access to victims' machines when users visit the infected sites. In the case of the attacks that Google researchers uncovered, attackers executed malicious code remotely and did just that. So again, there's a bunch of zero-day bugs here that need to be addressed, and there's some workarounds. I've started studying this issue when I saw it this morning, and so I'm addressing it, and I'll be addressing it later towards the day. I hope to have an update on my LinkedIn page later today of what are some of the steps we've taken to mitigate this. My goal with this Practitioner Brief is to really give you guys actionable information that we can take back and share. That's why I don't post what company I'm a CISA for, folks. A lot of people ask me, James, why is your profile incomplete? Because I share some stuff and I don't really want to give the bad guys an edge, but I do want to be a part of the community and support our Infosec community, which is really, really important. You can see advanced capabilities that have been used in the attack here. Again, this is by thread post. You can go and check it out. A great write-up of this specific attack, and I'll have more information on it later today on my LinkedIn page. So our final story before we wrap up this week in the Practitioner Brief is hackers have bypassed MFA to access cloud service accounts. This is critical. So many of us have transitioned to the cloud, use the cloud, and we all think MFA and we're done. So I'm going to selfishly promote something here. Last week on Friday, if you guys don't know who Roger Grimes is, I don't know what planet you're living on. All right, no, I don't mean to insult you, but if you're listening to the CyberHub podcast on audio, or if you're watching us on YouTube, go back. Hacking MFA will be at the end credits of this. Roger and I talk about just exactly how easy it is to hack multi-factor authentication and what you need to do to mitigate a bunch of this stuff. It's brilliant. It's an hour. You'll want to listen to it. It's an hour you'll want to give to everyone in your organization to listen to, because MFA is just not enough. And there's different parts of MFA that you need to implement. And it's Roger just shares so much good information. You're going to want to tune into that. So CISA said today that threat actors have been bypassing multi-factor authentication protocols to compromise cloud service accounts. CISA has been made aware of several recent successful cyber attacks against various organizations' cloud services, according to the agency. While threat actors try to gain access of some of their targets' assets via brute force attacks, they fail due to their inability to guess the correct credentials or because the attacked organization had MFA authentication enabled. However, in this specific incident, attackers were able to successfully sign into a user's account even though the target had a MFA enabled. CISA believes the threat actors were able to defeat MFA, and by doing so, as part of a pass-the-cookie attack in which attackers hijack an already authenticated session using stolen session cookies to log into an online service or web apps. So CISA's adding the following statement. In addition to modifying existing user email rules, the threat actors created new mailbox rules that forwarded certain messages received by the user, specifically messages with certain phishing-related keywords, to the legitimate users. Really simple syndication, RSS feeds, or RSS subscription folder in an effort to prevent warnings from being seen by the legitimate users. This is, folks, MFA is just not enough. It's good on some accounts, but we're gonna have to start really addressing MFA in its real aspect, which is don't use SMS MFA. For God's sake, don't use SMS MFA. Please don't do that. It's so easy to take that over. We've seen it. I've seen it all the time. I'm working with several people who've had their messaging accounts taken over by MFA. So by just taking over their MFA. So that's really critical. A few comments from my really good friends who I'm going to be live with in about 2 hours. Chris Flaw, very informative and actionable. Thank you, Chris. And Infosec hires. Hey, Renee, talk to you in a bit, folks. So yes, that's it for this. Here's the thing. 11 a.m. I'll be live with Renee and Chris and the awesome Naomi. And we're going to be talking about Infosec hires, our January challenge to get 10 people hired in Infosec. 2 down, 8 to go. Join us today. Hashtag any job you're posting. Hashtag anyone who's looking for a job on LinkedIn with Infosec hires with an S at the end. You can see the hashtag right here below on the crayon, whatever they call them now. So just tag that. We want to help people get work and break into the Infosec world. So that's it for us here today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your comments and all your support. I'm forever grateful. Thank you to our loyal supporters of the show, Wistic and KnowBe4, for their financial support and contribution to ensure that I can keep and continue to bring this content to you each and every single day. Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate the comment. That's it for us here, folks. I'll be back Monday with a lot more. Tomorrow, a new tech corner with my really good friends, Juan Rodriguez. We're going to be talking about starting a business, an entrepreneur, going from a developer and an engineer to starting a company. So it's going to be a really, really great story tomorrow. Tech corner, kind of taking a little bit outside of cyber, but you don't want to miss that. Also, tune in to previous tech corner that we did just last week, hacking MFA, talking about this last story with the incredible Roger Grimes. You won't want to miss it. Until then, folks, have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you at 11 a.m. on LinkedIn Live with my very good friends Renee and Chris talking about breaking into cyber. Until then, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for listening, and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.